Welcome in, everybody, to our 2023 Fantasy Football Busts videos playlist. I'm Mike LaPlant, and join me to my left is Dylan Clemons. How's it going, man?
Good, man. Good, Mike. How are you?
Doing all right. Ready to, we never like talking shit about, people in fantasy football, but, so just to start off with this fantasy football busts, just going to start off here saying this is all based on ADP. All right,
hmm
it's not that we think these are bad football players, because obviously they're not. They wouldn't be in the National Football League if they were. So, this is strictly based on ADP. But before we jump into it here, just want you guys to, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel down below. We really appreciate it. And we got plenty of content rolling out here in the next couple of days. So you might want to stay tuned for that. And then also, guys, go check out our memberships now available at fantasy6pack.net/plans. Go use promo code F6P NFL for 15% off.
Ooh.
And the reason why that is probably a really good deal here is because we got Joe Bond, 2022's Fantasy Pros #2 most accurate ranker. All right, you get access to him, us in the Discord, our Dynasty expert Jordan, our DFS expert Dave Eddy. So we got best ball experts, all kind of experts over there in the Discord channel that you can get on with that membership. So go check it out, because the best thing is you can ask custom questions. So without any further ado, let's actually jump into the bust here for the quarterback position here.
Yep.
And I'm curious, Dylan, who's your number one bust for quarterback this year?
This one, the quarterback position is tough, man, when it comes to bust, because there are so many good quarterbacks now in fantasy football. But I'm starting out here with Deshaun Watson, and it's pretty much comes down to what we saw last year. Maybe he just isn't good anymore. Like 3 out of the 5 games that he played towards the end of the season, he finished QB 14 or worse, man. It wasn't good. Only 2 games over 25 rushing yards. So the rushing floor that we saw at Houston even wasn't there. This team also loves to run the ball with Nick Chubb and their head coach Kevin Stefanski. So it's like, dude, are they really going to want to depend on Deshaun dropping back 35, 40 times a game when they have a solid offensive line? And we know Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in all of the NFL. So it's like, especially going at QB9, an underdog. And I know it's best ball, but that's really all the ADP we have to base things off of right now. I'm not doing it with Watson. Like, I'd rather have Dak than him. I think I might rather have Tua, and those guys are both going after him. So yeah, I'm just. No, I think that's where I cut it off. I think I would rather have Watson there than Kirk Cousins. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Watson this year.
I agree with you partially here with, I do think Kevin Stefanski and, this offense, they don't want their quarterback throwing it 40 times a game. But the reason they went out and made this trade to go get Deshaun Watson is they need to have the quarterback that can do it when they need it.
Right.
Now, This is just not Stefanski's game style. He likes running the ball down your throat. He likes time management. He likes getting the running backs involved here. And now, this is Deshaun Watson's good for the receivers here, but it's still a scheme that is run heavy.
Yep.
So they don't want him throwing 40 times a game. Yeah, he still can, I think, and it's just him shaking the rust off from, not playing.
Yeah, very well could be. Yep.
But it's just a matter of, you're right. They don't want, optimal game script for them. They'll have Deshaun Watson maybe throwing it 30 times a game, which, I mean, he's going to get most of his fantasy points then through touchdowns or on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So just QB9 is a little high for, a guy still needing to show he can still do it.
Exactly.
But we'll move on here to our next guy in the line. And I'm sure Keith just loves you for bringing this guy up. But who's your next guy?
It's Daniel Jones, man. And I'm just not 100% bought in on him. Like, it seems like the consensus is a little bit where he's borderline QB1 right now. He's QB14 in underdog drafts. But the lack of weapons really worries me. Like, I was hoping they were going to go out and attack a high-tier wide receiver, and they just haven't gotten him one. They got Darren Waller, who's fine, but we've seen the last few seasons he's really struggled to stay healthy, and he's in his 30s now. But he should still help him a little bit. But man, Mike, they have like 8 slot receivers on the roster: Paris Campbell, Wandale Robinson, Isaiah Hodgins. Like you got the weapons worries me here, and they were 25th in pass attempts per game last year. He was really held up, Mike, by his 7 rushing touchdowns that he had, which he does move a little bit on the ground. I will give him that. He's more athletic than you think he is, but he just had 14 touchdowns through the year last year. Maybe it balances out, and maybe the rushing touchdowns come down a bit, and he throws a few more through the air. But I'm just not bought in, and it didn't really look like Dabble trusted him last year, and I'm not sure that's going to change, especially if Saquon Barkley signs his contract and they get that figured out. They're going to want to rely on him a lot. I'm just not a big fan of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, my biggest thing I'm worried about him is he still hasn't shown himself to be a consistent passer. Yes, he's absolutely good on the ground, and Dabble's a creative offensive mind to where he can make this work. I'm just being funny here, but with all these slot receivers, you think they're missing Kenny Galladay yet?
No, he's toast.
You're right. They don't miss him, but at the same time, like there is just no number 1 receiver here. It's pretty much Darren Waller. It's, as the big red zone threat. So, I mean, yeah, I think they'll be able to chew up yardage, with all these guys that can move in short space. But when they get down to the red zone, I think they're going to struggle this year unless, it's Saquon Barkley or Daniel Jones rushing it in off a play action boot.
Yep, no doubt.
But we can move on to here yet another young gun, but we're talking the NFC North. Who's your next guy?
Just to finish out the quarterbacks here, it's Jared Goff. And this is the one guy who I don't hate's value right now, man. He's going as ADP quarterback 17, but he's another guy who I'm worried about the weapons with Jameson Williams being suspended 6 games, the first 6 games. DJ Chark departed to Carolina, so he doesn't really have a deep threat. He's really relying on his yak monsters in his offense like Amon-Ra St. Brown and what we hope and what they hope Jahmyr Gibbs turns into, because hopefully they could just get him little dump offs and he could just, make a big play. That's why they drafted him in the first round. But they brought in David Montgomery, man, who's going to slide into the Jamal Williams role. So they might want to slow down and run the ball a little bit more. Plus, Mike, their defense was atrocious last year, right? And they did some work this offseason to help it. Yep, and like C.J. Gardner-Johnson came over, drafted Jartavius Martin out of the University of Illinois. I wanted to shout that out real quick, my little homerism, to help the defensive backs. So, yeah, man. And they traded for Jalen Ramsey, correct?
Oh, no. That was the Dolphins.
Oh, damn. That was just that was just a rumor. Yeah, good try though.
Maybe next year.
But yeah, man, their defense is going to be improved. So it's like, yeah, he threw over 600 times last year. I don't know if that's going to happen again.
Yeah, and I mean there was clear, road and away splits here for Jared Goff last year too, where he was much better at home compared down the road. But it's another one of those situations here where, Dan Campbell and that offense, they believe they have a quarterback here that can throw it 40 times a game, but no, that's not what they want to do.
No, I don't think so either.
They want a ball control, and, this is why they have drafted these receivers, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, they went and got Laporta, who's another yak monster, when he was in college. So they don't want Jared Goff throwing it that many times. They want to just get their guys to play ball in space and let the playmakers do their job. Yep. But I mean, go ahead. You got something else?
No, yeah, I was just gonna say, like I said, he's really relying heavily on Amon-Ra St. Brown to do stuff after the catch. Same with Jahmyr Gibbs, like I brought up earlier.
Yeah, and that's true. We still got to see what Jahmyr Gibbs can do. I like him, but again, he's never played a snap in the NFL, so it's yet to be seen.
Yep.
But unless you got anybody else to add, that pretty much wraps up our quarterback bust for 2023.
No, yeah, I think I'm good. You can pretty much wrap it up, my friend.
All right. Well, just make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below if you like the content we got. Go check out our 2023 fantasy football sleepers that will be coming out here. Actually, no, they already came out with Jordan and Dylan. And then go check out the news cycle episode with DeAndre Hopkins signing with Tennessee Titans, see what those fantasy implications are. But for Dylan, I'm Mike. Everybody have